Welcome to the Ednewsstand podcast. I'm your host, Troy Reynolds. This is Season 4, Episode 4 of the podcast. This episode is titled Kami Updates because, well, it's all about the latest updates to Kami over the summer. In my TikTok Tech Corner, I'm going to tell you about a teacher that uses Lego to teach individuality. And in Tech Refresh, I'm going to provide you with a template that I found to help you with your Google signature. We've got a lot to get to, so let's not waste any more time. Let's dive in. The main focus of the newsletter this week and the podcast is Kami updates. I'll get into exactly what Kami is here in just a little bit, but before we do that, let's look at TikTok Tech. So this week I have Mary Howard 118. She has a short little video about celebrating individuality with Lego, and in my cheekiness, I decided to call it Induckviduality. Yep, I'll pause for laughter now. Anyway, she talks about giving students Lego bricks and then giving them 60 seconds to create their own duck from 6 different Lego bricks. Now, if you go on to Amazon where she ordered these duck bricks, it's $8 per bag, and if you have a class of 30, that's going to be really expensive. If you go to the Lego website, you can order the pieces individually. You might not be able to get the exact piece with the eye for the duck that she has, but you could give the kids a dry erase marker or whatever you needed to, and have them go about it that way. But for a class of 30, you can order all the bricks you need for about $26 instead of $8 a bag, so it's going to be kind of expensive. Links are there for Mary Howard's post on celebrating individuality with the students, and then the links are also there for the Amazon brick order if you want to order the bags, or the Lego brick order, and then all the pieces, the exact pieces that you would need to order to match what is already in the bag, and then how much each piece costs for your grand total. In the TikTok refresh, this I thought was pretty amazing by Tommy Spall. I have featured him a few different times on the podcast, but he had a tweet recently about adding your signature to Gmail, and I've talked about that in the past, and I even made a TikTok based on that information. But the great thing I think about the tweet that he had is he talks about in the tweet providing a template for his teachers. So I have a link to the template that you can download. So instead of going into Gmail and putting in your own signature, the template actually is a table. And when you create it in a table and you copy and paste the table into your Gmail signature, it actually can differentiate your signature and give you an image and the text, whereas if you just try to do it yourself, you're going to get the image and the text all together as one. So you want to make sure that you use the table, and the template is linked there. If you want to get a little fancier, you can try YStamp or mysignature.io, and I have links to those. All you have to do is click on the little icons that you see in the TikTok refresh corner. So adding your signature to Gmail is a huge thing, and I definitely recommend checking out any of the options available in TikTok refresh. Now it's on to the main story, Kami updates. There were a lot of updates that came out to Kami earlier this summer and a little bit this fall. And so the links that I have here is right at the top underneath the Kami updates word is a link to the blog article featuring the co-founder of Kami. And he kind of walks through in his short video the updates, and then the blog post actually will explain some of these things. And I've also linked the video down below, which you can find on YouTube very easily. If you're unfamiliar with what Kami is, I'm just going to do a very brief tutorial of what Kami is. So you go to the Kami website. If you have a school account and you've purchased it, that's great. You're going to get all kinds of extra features. If not, you can certainly try and use Kami, but you're going to be limited to what you can do. When you log into Kami, this is what you're going to see once you log in. You can take a PDF and you can do the OCR where it will recognize your text. You can also split and merge PDFs together. So you can take a PDF and split it up and take out certain pages, or you can take multiple PDFs and merge them into one larger PDF. You can also open things from Google Drive, from OneDrive, from your computer, create a Google Classroom assignment directly from the Kami dashboard, or you can start a new blank page, which is what I will do. When you click on new blank page, you can see you can tell it how many pages you would like. You can also then decide what sort of page you would like, so lined paper, grid paper, or a music sheet, and then you can also choose the orientation of your paper. I will just choose a lined page and leave it portrait. So once you're in Cami, you can see that your toolbar is over on the left-hand side. You have your select tool with a few different select options. You have your dictionary. You have your read aloud option, so you can get the page to be read aloud to you. You have your markup tool with your highlighter, your freehand highlighter, your box highlighter, strike through, underline, and then your colors are here, and you will see your colors are here in many of the other tools as well. Here's your comment bank. You can leave a text comment, a voice comment, a video comment, or a screen capture comment. Very handy when leaving comments for students, or if you have your own PDF or document or photo that you're pushing out to students, very easily create directions for them using the comments here. You have your text box where you can change your font, and then you've got your color palette. You have your equation editor, and you can insert various math symbols. Here's your drawing tool, and you can choose transparency and your stroke thickness. Here's your shape tool with many shape choices and your stroke thickness on this as well. Your eraser tool after you've done your markup or your drawing. You can insert media from your computer, from your Google Drive, do a Google image search right in Cami, and insert them directly from YouTube. And then the stickers that I mentioned are also in the Add Media. And finally, here is your signature. So you can upload an image, you can draw your signature right in Cami, or you can draw your signature from your phone. So the great thing about Cami is that you can take multiple items and just put them in here and create a document to push out to students as an assignment, or simply have students have it as information. And especially with the ability to insert comments or drawings and annotate on the document or the PDF that you have, there are so many ways to do this. You can also take this out and you can share it, so you have a digital whiteboard. I have some information on that on my website, which you can check out. But there are so many different options and ways that you can use Cami. Next week in the podcast and in the newsletter, I'm going to talk about all the different ways that you can use Cami and how to become a Cami certified educator. And throughout those videos, it gives you a ton of different ways to learn how to use Cami above and beyond just the simple annotation tool that you might think that it is, because it is so much more. But we'll get into that more next week. This week, I just wanted to talk about some of the product updates and give you a brief overview of the software. But the first thing that is available as an update with Cami is Annotation Bank. So it's your personalized pocket of useful comments, notes, and recordings that are repeated across any number of student assignments. So if you've ever used Annotation Bank in Google Classroom, you know that it can be invaluable. Next is the ability to delete all your annotations. So you can remove them all in just one click by keeping the whiteboard document fresh and ready for your next lesson. So again, having your annotation bank to quickly respond to students, but then being able to delete those annotations very, very quickly is awesome. Another update is faster grading. So they've leveled up their grading through the Chrome extension, so you can load documents a lot quicker in Google Classroom with the faster grading as well. The next update is feature restriction. So as you create assignments for students through Google Classroom or any other learning management platform, you can decide which features you want to turn on or leave off for students. So maybe you don't want them to have all of the features available in Cami. Now you have the ability to turn that on and off. There is OneDrive integration, and there is now a turn in button which shows up in more places in your Google Classroom. So that is going to be very valuable for you as well, so students don't have to go back to Google Classroom and click the turn in button. It's just going to be right there and available for them. Some other updates are photo to PDF. So student submitted photo files will now auto upload as PDF files once they've done the annotating in Cami. So students without Cami can see all of the markups. So even if the students aren't loading things in Cami, they'll be able to see any markups that students have done by uploading their photo and doing the markup. And then finally, the push changes. So push changes, a new way to push out live changes to an assignment after it's already been set. So if you have decided to push out an assignment and you want to make changes to it, they've created an easier way for you to push out those changes to students. If you are a user of Schoology or Canvas, there are a lot of new updates in Schoology or Canvas. I just wanted to, in this little video and podcast, cover the main updates in general and maybe cover a couple of those things with regard to Google Classroom. But you can go to the blog site and you can see some of the updates to Canvas, so you can copy course support. There are observers, there are also the feature restrictions and the Cami tab in Canvas. In Schoology, iPad integration, turn-in support, and easier file integration, and there is also integration with Microsoft Teams. So go ahead and look through the blog article if you use Canvas, if you use Schoology, if you use Microsoft Teams, because that is all there for you. Coming soon in Kami with the new updates will be word count. So if that's a thing for your students, they need to be able to count the number of words that they're typing in a document. You're going to maybe have them write a paper. That's going to be coming very soon. And then also new paper types, which is huge. So you're going to get writing paper, Venn diagram templates, Cornell notes, isometric paper, different kinds of line color for elementary. So if you're going to use Kami with elementary students and work on their handwriting, that will be available. And then also 1-inch graph sheets with graph templates. Also earlier, Kami upgraded their color palette to 250 colors, but now they're going to go bigger and they are going to announce a color wheel, which will also be coming very, very soon as a Kami update. A couple of other fun updates that they mentioned. They have interactive seating charts, so you can read the blog post to learn all about that. And they also have some new back to school stickers, which are available in your Kami app. That's it for this episode of the Ed Newsstand podcast. I really appreciate you listening to the podcast or watching the video version on YouTube because I know your time is valuable. Please check out the resources in this week's newsletter all about the latest updates to Kami. Also, thank you to @MaryHoward118 on TikTok for her individuality with Lego, and @TommySpall on Twitter for his awesome email signature template. For more EdTech resources, you can follow me on social media. You can find me on Twitter @ReynoldsTroy and on Instagram and TikTok @EdNewsstand. If you're listening on any podcast platform and would like to hear more, please like and subscribe to receive updates and have any new episode automatically downloaded for you. You can also revisit my previous episodes on any major podcasting platform like Spotify, Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or Google Podcasts. You can also check out the video version of my podcast over on my YouTube channel and check out any of the other video resources I have available. If you'd like to download my app to have my podcast and newsletters right on your smart device, please check it out at ednewsstand.glideapp.io and save it to your home screen. If you don't want the app but would like to check out my resources, please visit my website at ednewsstand.weebly.com. This is Troy Reynolds, and this is the Ed Newsstand Podcast. Hoping you were able to take away at least one idea for your classroom. Please be safe. Until next time.